Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. So yesterday, after the win, series sweep, 13 wins in their last 14, hottest team in baseball, the Braves made a decision optioning Jared Schuster to Gwinnett. That opens up the starting spot for Friday night, which presumably will be Michael Soroka in front of a sellout crowd against a team that he's dominated. I know this isn't the same Marlins, but their offense still isn't anything to write home about. They're carried by their pitching. A team that he's dominated in his career, sellout crowd, Truist Park, Michael Soroka for the first time in front of fans since 2019, almost 4 years since he was a rookie in this league. It's going to be an amazing moment. And I've been talking about this and talking about this. And we thought it was going to happen on Wednesday. I think confidently, it hasn't been completely announced. It is going to happen on Friday. The only other thing they could do is move a pitcher in the bullpen to the IL and then call back up AJ Smith-Shawver to avoid the 10 days he has to be in Gwinnett because he was optioned earlier in the week. But I think this is Michael Soroka. That's what everybody thinks, and he deserves it. It's going to be a great moment for him. He's going to come. He's going to come in pitching against a second-place team. It's going to be a wild night at Truist Park if he gets the ball in front of these Braves fans.
Yeah, the fish are hot, and I don't know if they don't realize who the Braves are or what this relationship is like. We dominate the fish, always have, always will.
Do you want to hear the record before you continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Since 2018, the Marlins record versus the Braves is 28-65.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me literally at all. And to see all these fish fans on social media thinking that they can even hold a candle to the Braves. Yeah, they don't have fans. They just have, bots that have a bunch of followers on them. Irregardless, they don't know what's coming for them. And I love their staff. Their entire pitching staff is nasty. But this Braves lineup isn't like anything they've ever seen. There is nowhere to pitch around. You have to throw at every batter. And when you throw at every batter, we're going yard. We hit bombs. Everybody in the lineup hits bombs. It's coming. Friday night, it's going to be a sellout crowd. I wish I could go. I got family obligations. But, man, that's going to be quite the environment.
Yeah, I just hope Michael Soroka continues where he picked up in Gwinnett. He's been fantastic. We talked about it the other day. Three earned runs over his last 19 innings, his last 3 starts. Last time out, he was 1 out away from a 7-inning no-hitter in just 80 pitches. He finished 7 innings. He's been outstanding, and I think he's figured something out, and I think he's here to stay. And I think it starts on Friday night. I think, as much as I want to win, I would rather lose 2-1 and Michael Soroka go out there and ball out than win 10-9, right? And Michael Soroka go out there and play and pitch poorly, because I think he can be a critical piece. I've said this since the beginning of the season. The stuff is there. I've watched most of his starts this season. The stuff is there. It's all about control and confidence. He looks like he's found a little bit of that control in his last 3 starts in Gwinnett. And if he starts to build confidence at the major league level and, hey, I can do this again, it's a scary thought, because this guy can be a stud pitcher again for the Braves. I firmly believe it will happen at some point. I'm just hoping it begins on Friday night. And there's no better place for it to begin against the second-place Marlins, against a lineup that isn't that strong, against a team that he has dominated, again in it with a sellout crowd behind him going nuts. He might have the biggest standing ovation and true. I don't think anyone's going to sit down throughout the first inning. It's going to feel like the 9th inning of a playoff game, that first inning. And now that could work against you. That could work against you. We'll see how it works. Those kind of things. The adrenaline's going to be pumping. We talked about his control. It's very easy to get out of control. But his velocity's up on his sinker. I think with all that adrenaline in front of those fans, we might see a 97 from Soroka. We might see a 97 there. I'm not even kidding. I think it's going to be, regardless of what happens in the game, it's going to be a spectacle. This is a moment that he deserves. This is a moment that we've been waiting for as fans. And I feel like we're all going to be in it together. That's what I feel like. That I'm going to go to the game. This is a game I wouldn't miss. I will go by myself, because I want to be with him while he does this, because you know how emotional this is going to be. It's going to be emotional for fans. Everybody's been rooting this guy and waiting for this moment, and he finally gets it. I hope the Braves don't shaft us here now that we're talking about it, because I'm excited. When I saw Schuster optioned yesterday, my first thing was Ticketmaster, tick pick. Where am I sitting? Where am I going? That was my first thought. So they better not shaft us. If I have to go there and I love AJ Smith-Shawver, but I have to go there and watch him, I'll be like, come on, man, this was the Soroka game.
Yeah, I'm getting totally ahead of myself here. Soroka pitches Friday. He looks great. Colby Allard's here to stay for at least his next spot in the rotation. We talked about it last segment. I mean, who do you bring down? I mean, when Max Fried inevitably comes back after the All-Star break, who goes down? I mean, you got Allard probably, but also, hang on, let me just, your first thought would be Allard, but he looked so good in his last outing. How could you do that to him? But then again, you don't want Soroka to be yo-yoing back from AAA in Atlanta. You definitely don't want that. It's a terribly tough decision to make, but it's an awesome problem to have.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, they might decide to just roll with 6 pitchers and 7 relievers if Soroka pitches well, and then option Colby after his next start. I think Colby's in line to start Tuesday, and they're going to need a starter for that series. But they have enough off days where they really only need 4 starters. Mm-hmm. So maybe they see how Colby does Tuesday, and then maybe option him afterwards and roll with Soroka, because they're going to have off days enough to where the relievers should have enough rest to where they only need a 7-man bullpen. So that could be something they consider. I mean, obviously, this all hinges on how Soroka looks. If he goes out there and drops a bomb, like, he's going to go back to Gwinnett. There's no doubt about it. But it's going to be exciting. I think he's going to thrive, and it's a great problem to have. I predicted on a site, go check it out, sportstalkatl.com. I predicted this like 3 weeks ago. Like, someone asked me to do when everyone's healthy, rotation prediction, and I had Soroka. I had Fried, I had Soroka, and then I had the 3 guys, Elder, Strider, and Morton. I think that's what it's going to be, because I think Wright, it's going to take him a while to get back if he ever does get back. I'm not a huge believer in Schuster or Allard as like power pitchers, star pitchers, and then Smith-Shawver's 20 years old, and he could be used out of the bullpen. Coming up after the break, ESPN's Bradford Doolittle completely disrespects the Braves in his midseason awards.